Okay, so for those of you who are going to go to Author 101, which is taking place right up the street at the Hyatt for the next 3 days, there is a gentleman who is like one of the most amazing people I've ever met in the business, possibly in my business life, Rick Frishman. You'll be spending time with him and some of the top people in the business there. If you haven't signed up, there's still an opportunity to do so at the registration desk. He is a publisher. He's one of the top publicists. He's brought so many big names, I can't even count them, into bestseller status, including Jack Canfield, and the list goes on and on. So it is with great pleasure and admiration I introduce Rick Frishman.
How you doing? Hey everybody, welcome. Oh, I just got here. So I have 20 minutes to teach you guys, and we have 3 days starting tomorrow at Author 101 to teach you guys some more. Normally I do a talk at the Learning Annex in New York, which goes 3 hours. So I'm going to squinch it into 20 minutes and talk really fast. All of you are published, right? Okay, cool. So I am the crappiest writer in the world, in America. I don't know how to write a book. I've never written a book. However, I've spoken my books, and I have 18 books out. My 19th book will be coming out later this year, and I've sold hundreds of thousands of books, and I can't even write. So how many of you, have been published in addition to with experts, but by like with a major publisher, HarperCollins, Simon & Schuster, anybody like, okay. Would any of you like to be published with any of those guys? Okay, cool. This is my 18th book, Author 101, which is sort of my brand, and I have a trademark on it, which is something interesting that you'll learn and talk about in the next few days. Basically, December 1 will be my 40th year in publishing, which means I am extremely old person. I started in 1976. I was a producer at WR Radio in New York, and then went to Plan TV Arts. There were just two of us and built it into the biggest book PR company in America. And I launched folks who you all know today, but when I started with them, no one ever heard of them. John Grisham, Jack Canfield, Mark Victor Hansen, Harv Eker. I was just with a fellow who's speaking over at our other event, Tony. We worked with in 1986. I did his first book. Now you only have to say Tony, and you know who I'm talking about. So all of these folks were unknowns when we first started. Do any of you have a novel, by the way, or are you all non-fictioners? A novel? One novelist. Is that it? Everybody have 2 novels. Do I go for 3? 3 novels. Okay. Sold to the lady in the red dress. All right, great. How many of you, so there's kind of 4 legs. I'm a publicity guy, so I'm not going to talk, publishing. I'm also a publisher, okay? I published 150 books this year, publisher at Morgan James, and we get full book distribution. We've had several New York Times bestsellers. So fast story, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about publicity. Just a kid came to one of our events about 8 years ago. He was broke. He was actually bankrupt. And he borrowed money from his mother and dad to get to our event, because he knew he had to be there, just like you guys. Some of you, I bet you borrowed money to get here today. So there. But he knew he had something in his heart and something to get out, and all he had was a book proposal, which we can even talk about a little later if you want. But I met this kid, and I just fell in love with him. I looked in his eyes, and I said, look, I'm going to get you a great agent, because you need an agent to get published in America, and you want to get in a big publishing house. So I introduced him to a kid named, actually a guy who just became a literary agent named Scott Hoffman. He was just starting. And I said, look, this kid's great. He has a good idea and a good book, but his proposal sucks. We got to work on that. And we took him under our wing, and little Brendan Burchard became our first. And so we got his first book out with Harper San Francisco. I did the publicity on the book. And I actually gave him his first opportunity to speak on stage was at Author 101 University in New York. First time he ever spoke on stage. Fast forward, PBS was doing a show with him, and he needed to get a book out quickly. We went to HarperCollins and said, hey, we'll get your book out, no problem. How long does it take to get a book out with HarperCollins or Simon & Schuster? 18 months. And he said, well, no, I got a book coming out like in 3 months. And he said, well, great, we'll get it out in 2 years. I mean, what do you want to do? So he came to us, and we said, no problem, we'll get this done. He wrote the book in 16 days in January. He gave me the book on February 2nd. We published the book on March 3rd, about 30 days later, and it was #1 on the New York Times on March 21. And that was The Millionaire Messenger. Anyone know the book? Okay. So Brendan is kind of I call him the kid, he's my baby. And he's kind of crushing it out there and went from bankrupt to now he's making, I don't know, I think he just got an offer for $30 million for something. He's got 5 million people on Facebook that follow him. But he just had something that we all had, which was we wanted to get our message out. But what did he do differently? It's like I've handled thousands of authors all along the way. And the difference between being a bestseller and selling 20, 30, 50, 100, 1 million books, and just, having it in your garage is what? Marketing and publicity. And I've had so many people come to me over the years and say, look, I published my book. Remember Dan Poynter? I love Dan Poynter. Just passed away last year. But he was the guru of self-publishing, and people used to publish books and put 25,000 of them in their garage, never to be seen again. And now it's a whole other world because we have POD publishing, et cetera. But the point is now we got to get our book out. So some tips about marketing is that everyone can get a book published in some way, but to get it out there, we need publicity. And there's 4 legs of a publicity chair. I'm going to give you some websites, by the way. If you go to rickfrishman.com, I'm not selling anything, everything at rickfrishman.com. I have a free, we used to call it a Rolodex, but only you remember what a Rolodex is, We have nice people my age in the room who remember a Rolodex. So now I call it a resource list, okay, which is 137 pages long, thousands of contacts, et cetera. And when I'm on TV and radio, by the way, I say go to my website and get this, which is an ethical bribe, a freebie. When you're on TV and radio, you don't want to say, hey, go buy my book, because then you're an obnoxious, pushy, pain-in-the-ass author, and we don't want to be that. We want to be loving. We want to say, go get my free stuff, and if you get my resource list, it has thousands of contacts you can never get anywhere else. You have producers at Oprah, the Today Show, editors at agents you can't get to. And in addition, if you get this, you will lose 10 pounds the first week and have great sex. Just go there, Fabulous. So you want to get people to your ethical bribe. So there's 4 things about publicity. I call it a publicity chair. 1 is internet. Write that down, internet. You've heard of the internet? Anyone ever? Okay. 2 is, and with internet, there's social media. You must be on, this is all easy, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube, and you got to do it every week. You must be. I post on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn every day, and I do a short YouTube video about once a week, about 2 minutes. So that's your first leg of your publicity chair. It starts with your website. How many of you have your own website that is easy to find and has been updated recently? Okay. A few of you don't. Okay. Now here, for instance, all right, I know you. Do we own JimWhite.com? We probably do.
We do.
We do, okay. But here's how many of you couldn't get your name? Okay, so here, you're Nancy Monson, and there's another Nancy Monson. Several, okay. So from here on, write this down, rickscheapdomains.com, okay? It's the cheapest place to get URLs. Yes, we never made it. It's $9.95. Yes, I get it. It's my private label from another big place, but we never make it higher. So I have hundreds and hundreds of authors who go there. And here's what we're going to do. Nancy, tonight you're going to go and you're going to get, you are the original NancyMonson.com. You're myNancyMonson.com. You're the one and only Nancy. Okay. Who else are you? You are also Nancy Monson author and Nancy Monson speaker. So you must get these URLs so people can get back to you. Does that make sense? Secondly, we all have titles of our books. I was in McGraw-Hill's offices. I have a book called Where's Your Wow? Your book title should be 1 to 5 words. Blink. Where's your wow? Guerrilla publicity. More than that gets complicated. 1 to 5 words. Your subtitle, okay, is the promise of the book. Don't worry about that. 17 ways to get people to love you. 28 strategies to lose weight by next week, okay? That's the promise of the book. But we must have the URL for the title of your book. Tweet this. If you don't own the URL for the title of your book, it is not the title of your book. If you don't own the URL for the title of your book, it's not the title of your book. So I own where'syourwow.com for every book, but I also have where'syourwowbook.com. So put book afterwards as well. This is real estate. This is really important stuff. Okay, and when you do your book proposal and you're going to have more books out, I want to make sure that you own the URLs for every book that you're thinking of writing. You can always let them go next week or next year. Okay, it's $9.95. Last thing about URLs. Any of you have anything at home that resemble children or grandchildren? Raise your hand. Okay, how many of you own the URL for your kid's name? You heard me before. Okay. Okay, so get your kids' URLs, names, and your grandkids as well. Really important stuff. All right, next up, you must have a website. The first thing I'm going to do as a producer or an editor is do a Google search about you and see what comes up. And the first thing that should come up is your website, your speaker author site. For me, it's rickfrishman.com. Even though I have 50 different websites, and I have 100 URLs, you can even have them redirected for free to your speaker author site. And on that site, we will decide whether we want you on our show, whether we want you, to do a story on you, and whether we want to take you on as a publisher, probably in about 30 seconds after I see your website. That's what it is all about. What should be there, and yes, check out rickfrishman.com, we just redid it, is streaming video. I want to see you in action, streaming audio. I want to hear you in action, testimonials, pictures, what books you have, what other websites you have, and how you are changing the world. And if your site looks like crap, I will go off of it and say, you know what, this person does not have a platform yet, isn't there? I'll just say, when they get there in 10 years, I'll come back to you. That's how fast it was. I was with Scott Hoffman at our event 2 years ago. A lady who had a great book came. We went to her side. It was in the back of the room. Actually, I was at Brendan Bouchard's event. We had 800 people in the room. And within 1 minute, we decided whether we wanted to take this woman on or not, based on her website. Unfortunately, that's the way it works. So you need to have, publicity, and again, I got like 4 minutes, but internet, most important part. Second part is radio. You all need to be doing radio every day. It's cheap. And by the way, how many of you have ever hired a PR firm? Okay. Was it fun? It was. You're the only person I've ever spoken to. Usually it sucks. Okay, and the reason is, and I've run the biggest PR firm where people pay us $5,000, $10,000 a month every month. And you know what you get when you pay us $5,000, $10,000 a month? You get a wonderful guarantee, and the guarantee is this: we guarantee you're going to pay us every month, and we're going to send you wonderful reports on who said no. It's great. Guess what? The LA Times thinks your book stinks. It's like, I'm paying you all this money to get all these reports on who said no. Who wants me? It's like Yakima's big this time of year. Yakima wants you. Okay? So you don't have to hire a PR firm to get you radio shows in Yakima. You can do it yourself. I mean, my whole book, Guerrilla Publicity, is how to do it yourself for little or no money. So radio, you got to be doing every day. TV is a pain in the butt because you got to get there, but anytime you're traveling, you can go do TV. There's morning shows, AM shows, noon shows, etc. And print, as a producer, that's how I got my guests, is print. And I read the New York Times, USA Today, and I said, that person is newsworthy, I got to get them. So I'm going to give you 3 tips, or maybe 2, depending on how my brain works, on how to do it for little or no money. Okay, number 1 is Alex Carroll, who you'll meet, has a great database, radiopublicity.com, of every top radio station in America. But if you don't have, and that's like less than $1,000, but how many of you want to spend less than $1,000? Okay, oh good, I got a cheap crowd here, I love it. Okay, who wants to spend more than $1,000? Nobody, okay. Right, hire a munchkin, okay? Hire a munchkin, and what I mean by that is in every city and across America, wherever you live, there are colleges. I went to Ithaca College. You can go to the communications department, that's where I studied at Ithaca College, and say, I want to hire a kid who works in radio, TV, journalism to make phone calls on my behalf. I'm a famous author, and call radio stations, and I'll give them the whole pitch. These kids know every station in America because when they graduate, that's where they want to get hired. They would do this for free, but you're going to pay them like $10 or $15 an hour, just beer money. Okay? And they are brilliant, and they will do the work for you. And if you have daughters or anybody else there, get a munchkin. But it's better to get a kid at a college to do it and pay him a little bit, and then we can give them resources, okay? Number 2, I've gotten in the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, all across every top newspapers using a service. Anyone ever hear of Dan Janelle? Dan's great. And we have something with a discount. Write this down. It's Rick's PR Leads. Rick's PR Leads, Leads. His service, I get queries in my email every day. And just fast story, I got a query from the New York Times saying, I'm looking for someone who knows something about networking. And I sent an email back to the New York Times, said, hey, I just wrote a book on networking. I know a whole bunch. Let me send it over. And they were down the block on 43rd Street. I sent the book over. Later that day, she called me back and said, I really like your book. I'd like to interview you. She interviewed me on the phone. The next Sunday, I'm in the New York Times saying networking expert Rick Frishman says blah, 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 blah. Now, there are thousands of people who know more about networking than I do. Probably hundreds of thousands. But the New York Times just said that I was the #1 networking expert in America, and who am I to argue with the New York Times? How much did that cost me? I mean, you could pay $100,000 for that. $99. Is that good? So $99 a month. So you get, with Dan's thing, you can do it for 3 months, and you get the first month for free. So you get 3 months for $200. So $200 versus $5,000 a month. Which do you like better? Okay. He also has another service to send out press releases, and my discount with him is Rick's Press Release Sender. I've used it, and it's all part of PR Newswire. It's the best press release sender. It's like $395. It goes to thousands and thousands of outlets. But the point is, you must start doing it every day, and there are resources out there that you can do it for little or no money. Get the munchkin on board, and even they can get the queries and respond to the queries for you. But the difference between making it and not making it is your pitch and doing something, getting publicity all the time. For your novelists in the room, just going to give you one tip. No one gives a shit about your book. Okay, let's move on. All right, now what? But now here's what. Okay, there's good news. Okay, the good news is you made it up. It's a story. I mean, I started with all these guys, John Grisham. They made this stuff up. We need to get a pitch that the media cares about. You made it up. So fast story, I had a kid, I'm old, so everyone's a kid, who came to me. Warner Books came out with a book, and it was a love story. Boy meets girl. Boy loses girl. Boy gets girl back again. It's like, we've heard that before. There was a guy, Bill Shakespeare did it a long time ago. It's the same story. You keep on doing it. We need something to talk about that the media cares about. So we need a hook. Always remember, you need a hook. So with him, we coined him. He was really cute. He was a pharmaceutical salesman, lived in the South, and very handsome guy. So we coined him the most romantic man in America. Remember, this is a love story. The most romantic man in America. We sent him around, and the women swooned. They loved him. He was so cute. And he was talking about romance and how to get, you women to love you, etc. Now, women all want romance more than anything. Men want sex. You don't get the sex unless you get the romance first. That's the whole point. So women wanted to know about it, and men really wanted to know about it. Okay, so we sent him around the country. Who was this kid? Most romantic man in America. His name was Nicholas Sparks. And the book was The Notebook. Remember that? Okay. Now he sells more novels, stories he made up. Anyway, what's another one of Nicholas Sparks' books? The Right, that's just one. He's a billionaire now because he understood what women wanted and the hook to get him on radio and TV. And it's the same thing with every novelist, is you got to think about the hook. So even if you have a nonfiction book, understand your book, there's been other people before you. And even as a publisher, in your book proposal that we're looking for, we want a comparative analysis of other books that are similar to yours. What has been out there before you that has actually sold well? And don't say there's never, ever been a book that's like mine. And because there's a reason for that. So you want to say, it's true, it's like, okay, but there never will be, too. It's okay. Say, my book is a little bit like John Gray's book, Men Are from Mars, Women Are from Venus, but that came out in the 80s and da-da-da-da-da, and I'm different, and I'm a psychiatrist, and there's new stuff that came out, etc. So you always need to react to what's in the news and what's going on. But media, internet, get out there, and then, with POD, by the way, I love POD, print on demand, but unfortunately, I work with about 100 literary agents. I work with every major publisher. Unfortunately, POD, it's a great way to get started, but usually if you've come out with a book with like CreateSpace or Lulu or whatever, generally it sells under 100 books in its lifetime. And usually the people who buy the books are people who either married you or birthed you. So we want to get other people to get it out in bookstores and just love the book and get you to the next level. And I applaud you that even if you've done a book with CreateSpace or in a POD publisher, you got it out. Most people just never get it done at all. And so I republish folks who are published by Author Solutions, who owns like everybody, Author House, Ex Libris, and you have your rights, so you could get a bigger publisher. So this is a journey. And so if you haven't gotten your book published yet, that's okay. We can help you. If you have gotten it out, with whatever, publisher, you are always building to the next level and getting bigger and bigger TV shows. And the last thing is media. Don't come to me and say, gee, I really want to start with, most people say I want to get on Oprah, even though they don't realize that Oprah doesn't have her show anymore. Okay? It's like, that's nice, but she's not on, How about Phil Donahue? Let's get you on Phil Donahue. It's like, first do your research. See who's actually on the air. Okay? So start with, but don't say I want to start with 2020. Say I want to start, with local TV, local radio, local newspaper, move up from there. Because again, producers' thought process is we read the newspaper, we listen to radio and go, ooh, I got to get that guy. That's newsworthy. And then you build more and more. And then every time you're on a local show or local newspaper, you get that on your website and have a list of what you've been on and testimonials from the producers on your site as well, so that I know you've been on a lot of shows and I know that you have credibility. See, the problem with POD books is that today's show, Good Morning America 2020, feels that those books have not been vetted. That basically, a Schnauzer could have, in fact, Mike Schnauzer has a book, POD, on how to meet other Schnauzers. Great book. 4 Schnauzers have bought the book, But they want to know that you've been vetted by a real lawyer and a real publisher. So that's where the media comes in, that they know what you're doing. Okay, 1 minute left. Go to rickfrishman.com. Obviously, you got free resources. Believe it or not, I answer every email. Has anyone ever emailed back and forth with me? I'm ridiculous, but rick@rickfrishman.com. By the way, your email should be the same thing. So it should be jim@jimwhite.com, et cetera. So your email should not be like sarah86245@aol.com. And here's really mean. If your email address is aol.com, AOL hasn't been in business for 40 years, okay? Then I know you haven't moved on. Everyone has an AOL address is usually 80 years old. So just with Google, you've heard of Google, Gmail, et cetera, anything, get a Gmail address, and then make it so we can remember it. So mine is rick@rickfrishman.com. You can email me. Hopefully, we're right down the block. We're here for the next 3 days at Author 101 University. I know we have a bunch of folks coming. But if you haven't signed up yet, you guys are coming free. You're the only ones who we're letting come. The event has not, we have not given any freebies out to anybody else. So if you're there and you are sitting next to someone, say you paid $2,000 to be here, because they're $10,000. Great, even better. Okay, but you're the only ones that we offered that because of Viki, but no one else there. There are no scholarships to this event. So if you haven't signed up yet, just there'll be we start tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock right down the block. And now I think we're going to do what else? Answer some questions. By the way, I'll be happy to just answer some questions if you have a couple right now until we're getting set up. Yes. Radiopublicity.com is Alex Carroll's site. The other ones I gave was Rick's PR Leads and Rick's Press Release Sender.com. Those both are run by Dan Janelle, but that gets you a discount where you get the free month for free, et cetera, just so you do it yourself. Any other? Yes?
What kind of content are you looking for this coming year or two?
As a publisher? Wow. I mean, our sweet spot is usually how-to business books. However, we do now have a fiction division, and we also have a Christian division. So we do a lot of Christian books as well. But the books that sell the most are our how-to nonfiction books, but we do a little bit of everything. Okay. Yep. Last question, if anyone has one more, and then we'll do some hot seats or something. Yes, don't be shy.
Do you do anything with poetry?
No.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, in fact, that's the only thing that we do children's books too, I'm sorry. We do children's books. We're actually doing pretty well. Poetry is just really hard to get into bookstores, and it's just really hard. So I always suggest go to CreateSpace. Do it POD first for poetry books. If you then start selling a whole bunch, you can then come back and say, look, this is a really solid poetry book. Yeah, but that's POD. By the way, just so you know, and this is one thing, Balboa is the POD division of Hay House, run by Author Solutions, okay? Author Solutions is set up private labels for a lot of major publishers. And I met actually with the CEO before he sold it, and Hay House is making a fortune. It's wonderful because they're taking stuff that they don't want to publish through Hay House and say, do it through our POD division. It's all profit to them, okay? And then they say, if it goes really well, we may do you at Hay House. I'd like to see which ones they're doing, just one word of warning with anyone that's gone to any Author Solutions in particular, but any POD publisher, is the average author is spending about $8,000 on POD books, and the reason is you can get in for like $1,000 roughly. How about, you know? But they try to upsell you to all this junk you don't need. So don't buy any of the other stuff. Just take their initial package, which is approximately $1,000 for most people, and don't buy all that other stuff. And that's how they're making a lot of money. But that's actually owned. It's not Hay House. It's actually owned by Author Solutions, that owns Ex Libris, Author House, iUniverse, et cetera, and has private labels for, I think even Rezonderman, for, you know, 50 different publishers. And it's great for the publishers because they don't do anything and they just get a nice check from Author Solutions, particularly if you buy all the crap you don't need. Okay, I'll do two. Yes?
Yeah, I came out of the publishing industry too a long time ago, and do you think traditional publishing is going to be around in 20 years?
It's changing. I mean, I think, I've been doing 40 years. I think traditional publishers are, you know, think they're God. And I think it's changing for the better. We're not waiting 18 months anymore. I think the fact that we can do it through hybrid publishing, which is what we are, and other ways. And hybrid is Morgan James and other publishers, and we're actually starting another one as well. It has sort of the best of both worlds, where you retain your rights. We can get a book out within, 10 weeks from the time you give it to us. We help you with marketing. And the difference is between vanity publishing, as they used to call it, and POD is two things. A, we don't take everybody. With POD, they take everybody, okay? You know, if you can pay the money and it's not how to build a bomb, we'll take you. Secondly, the POD, the books, will never be in a bookstore. They don't like to tell you that, okay? Because it's not returnable, okay? Thirdly, it doesn't have the credibility, because all the big newspapers and media know you did it POD. But I think it's a great way of getting started. But I think you then need to move on to, so with hybrid, we don't take, we get about 5,000 proposals or query letters a year. We publish about 150, so we don't take everybody. Secondly, you retain the rights as well, as opposed, but most importantly is we have bookstore distribution. And that's the other big thing, is that with us, we have IPS, which is Ingram Publishing Services. You all have heard of Ingram. This is a division of Ingram that handles about 100 publishers, maybe 120. And we have about 40 reps, just like Simon Schuster, that sell our books into the bookstores. So that's why we have #1 New York Times bestsellers, because books are actually in bookstores. Having said that, all of our reps in Barnes & Noble and the bookstores around the country still come back to us and say, look, you know, we'll try to sell your book in, but unless you have a platform, unless you're doing speaking, unless you're doing media, we're not going to get books in because we need to get the books out. And the problem with bookstores is they're thieves. You know, I mean, that's a terrible thing to say. Okay, but we pay to send the books in. They sit there for 3 months. If they don't sell, if you don't do publicity, they come back. Now we have to pay the shipping to bring them back, and they come back damaged. Even if they do sell them, they don't pay us for 90 days if we're lucky. So I think publishing needs to change, and it has been changing because we have more power now. And there's other better ways of getting it done. Does that answer?
Right, so a hybrid company is what you're describing.
Right. It's kind of the combination of both. And there's been a lot of, and look, there's some controversy, you know, because there's lots of different models, and it's not all perfect, but it's right for you know, entrepreneurs, et cetera. I wouldn't do it with a poetry book, you know, I wouldn't do it. I mean, kids' books, children's books are tough too, because usually the children's books that sell really well are celebrities. Just 2 more, and then we got to get it. Okay, you over here in the.
What about memoir?
Memoir's good. No, I mean, as long as it's well written and it's interesting. Most people are shitty writers, forgive me. Not as bad as me, but are bad writers, so that's okay. Even if you've done it, we have great ghostwriters and editors that clean it up and just make it readable. Shorter is better. That is my whole life. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm a very little person. And the same thing with books. I like books that are like 160 to 200 pages. Brendan's book was 161 pages. We sold over $21.95 and sold 50,000 of them in the first 3 weeks. You know, so people are, you know, have ADD, and they don't really want to read long books. So memoir is good, but just I don't want a 300-page book, because if you're famous, I'll read all 300 pages. If you're not as famous, just give me the facts. Okay? All right. Yes. Last.
You can help me be a better writer right now just by spelling your name.
Okay. Rick. Oh, great. Okay. That's the most important part. Rick, R-I-C-K, Frishman, F-R-I-S-H-M-A-N. rickfrishman.com. You can also reach me at author101.com, which you should look at anyway. That's the event that's coming up in the next couple of days. And just, it's worth looking at it. Just, we have a really great website designer, and just to see, just to see what websites should be doing, if it's static or not, or if it's, and every one of you need a way of collecting names and building your list. You know, the people, you know, who collect more leads. I mean, your book, you're going to make money because you have a book. The odds are you're not going to make money from your book. I mean, I have 18 books, and the money I've made from my books, the royalties, I took my wife out to dinner once. So, you know, but it's because I have the book and the credibility that's where you get the back end, you know. So you need to just, you know, have autoresponder. Does all of you have a system that like collects email addresses, et cetera? All right, I mean, whatever system you want, Constant Contact, Infusionsoft, One Shopping Cart, et cetera. You know, we have One Shopping Cart, and Rick's web solution goes there, which is, and it's affiliate link, by the way. It doesn't cost you more, but I get like 10 cents a month from you, so if you sign up. But that's One Shopping Cart. You must have a system. Infusionsoft is great, but not until you're really rocking it. They're expensive. And and by the way, they're my sponsor. I mean, they just paid a ridiculous amount of money to sponsor our event. But I just am always honest that, you know, you gotta really have a list and be rocking. You can move up to Infusionsoft. You can start with Constant Contact or One Shopping Cart, but you need to have some system that collects email addresses. Every time you're on radio, TV, the job is to get them back to your site, to get your ethical bribe so that you can develop a relationship with them. You had one last.
Well, I was just wondering, is the Constant Contact, is that a good start?
It's a great way to start. It's really cheap, yeah, so that's a good way just to start. One Shopping Cart is about $50 a month or something. Got Rick's Web Solution. Write that down. Rick's Web. Now, by the way, you saw this is a lesson here too. Have you noticed every one of the sites I gave you is branded Rick's Cheap Domains, Rick's Web Solution, Rick's PR Leads, Rick's Press Release Sender, okay? So that and all of those are my private labels to go somewhere, so it's easy to remember. So that, A, you can remember it, but B, it's something you guys should do as well, is so that just keep on thinking brand. You are all a brand. The book is one part of your brand, but you're getting them to your site so that you can sell them other stuff. Now, I've been really blessed. I've been doing this a long time now. I sold my company to the biggest PR firm in New York. Now, all I like to do is play tennis and teach people how to get published and how to build their brand. I mean, that's kind of my second half of my life is giving back. And the main thing here is, you know, people, you got here for a reason. The universe got you here because you have something to give back to the world. You have something to teach, and it's not for the money. It's the more you teach and are doing it for the right reasons, the more the universe will bring it back to you. So that's what I'm doing till, you know, the last part of my days, and hopefully that's what I'm hoping to help you guys do. All right, I think I got to shut up, right? All right.
Okay, Rick has participated in a number of our wonderful anthologies, but this one has Joe Vitale, Marcia Weeder, including Rick, with wonderful, wonderful stuff. You want to throw out?
Sure. How many are we throwing? Oh, one? Three of them. All right. Wait, one back there. Wait, how many are we doing? All right.
This is for another piece of the puzzle.
Okay, one back this way.
Okay, come on up. Those are
And
one.
and then
one more to throw. And
Okay.
this is for a very, very special value of, including bonuses, over $13,000. And
Whoa!
So, Rick-
All right, let me go to this part of the room since I threw two over there. Let's see. Oh, who got it? Wow! All right, good job. Okay.
bestseller launchpad program, of which Rick recommends to a lot of his clients, and many of you have been participating in that in this room. Thank you very much.
Great.
And that is for you, my dear. Wow.
Beautiful. All right.
The book or the puzzle piece? Okay, so you pick a piece out of there. We're going to go to break pretty soon. Okay. There were so many good questions. Rather than doing a hot seat, I'd love to see the last three speakers. Oh, there's your book. You can keep that. I'm going to see if our three speakers can go outside where the registration was so that you can really get to meet them and talk with them. And